human creation. Even more. I suggest you to think on this statement. At each moment, the limits of our language are the limits of our will. Then, to extend our will, human beings need to extend the language. Imagine a very primitive man, with a very primitive language, trying to explain relativity theory. Impossible. He got not enough language. Then, in a lot of years, in an evolving process, humanity was enlarging language to enlarge his understanding of the world. Of course, natural language is in itself an evolutive system, for representing and communicating the world. The world means what is around us, what are not us, what is different from us. It's the world. This world is really, really complex, because the world is not only what we see by our senses. The humanity, persons, invented sensors, and sensors are much more powerful than our senses. Remember what was known in astronomy 150 years ago, and what is known today on astronomy? What? Sensors and mathematical models. Sensors, observation, and mathematical models. This is an important problem. Of course, natural language is among the most complex subjects in science. In particular, what concerns to us is the most complex subject computer scientists are faced with. Of course. We have a more complex phenomenon. Maybe we can compare with some biological phenomena. Of course, we can compare. But language, maybe is again more complex. Look, that language is nothing strange. If I was a religious person, maybe I can say that language is something that God launched over people, but I don't believe that. For example, if we suffer pathologies derived from natural language, this kind of mental waste that fanatics have in mind, these creations, incredible creations of some theologians, or a lot of different pathologies. Pathologies in the sense that are creations of the mind without any correlate in the world. For me, this is a pathology. Okay, in that sense, I think that, like blood divine, language is an evolutive, something that appears in an evolutive process, and as all evolutive process is something to survive. Probably, human species would not survive without language. Lions, no. Any kind of animals, tigers, will eat all of us. We will disappear. We will be concentrated in a small area in the world, and we will not survive against nature. Then language is appeared in the human race when the brain was in a peak, and the phonetic apparatus was sufficient for some evolutive purpose to survive. For what is not language? The first question is, natural language is for what is not language? Try to make a list. I stopped at here because my transparency was full. To tell perceptions, to ourselves and to the others. Telling remembrances, feelings and impressions. Telling conjectures. Communicating news, wishes and hopes. Narrating creatively. Reading, discussing, lying, judging, expressing love, indifference, and hate. These needs also pass away, or for those that just are living now. Recitals that arrive, telling jokes, and telling gossips, telling tales to children, an important subject, describing behaviors of a person, of people, of a physical system. saying what is good or bad or disturbing, trying to understand ourselves and the others, a lot of dimensions. My view, in science, one cannot be said in natural language, or one cannot be said, maybe it's better to remain silent. To quiet, not remain silent all the time, but to quiet to the possibility of saying something. If not, it's here. Images, ideas that you cannot translate into natural language. Until you cannot translate in natural language, it's better to remain silent. To remain silent does not mean not thinking. To remain silent. Okay. Well, let me enter a little bit in these two philosophical traditions. Of course, there are more philosophical traditions in science, but just let me a little bit crisp and separate it into sides, right and left. Plato's tradition. What really matters are abstract ideas, the theory of forms. This is what really matters, abstract ideas. Everything comes from some idea. Nobody knows where this idea is. Nobody. But this idea is what really matters. This is the essential idea of Plato's philosophy. And these ideas are not close to reality. It's something that is in some strange hidden. We can say, not exactly, but to understand, that this is idealism. And second, Aristotle one. Ideas do not lose importance, are extremely important, but ideas come from reality. This is empiricism. Of course, most mathematicians are naturally inclined towards Platonism. It's almost clear. They are in an ideal world. They are not really close to reality. And the career, the studies in the faculties of mathematics in the last 20 to 25 years increase this sensation. Why? Because mathematicians, they don't study physics, they don't study biology, they don't study chemistry. I studied a lot of chemistry, biology, and physics, and also mechanics. They don't study mechanics. They start the first course studying mathematics, and they end the last course studying mathematics. They are really far from real world. This is good or bad? I don't know. This is. And the influence of the education they have is clear. When they arrive to a center of research, they only think on mathematical ideas. In my view, this is bad. Okay. Most scientists and engineers are inclined towards Aristotelism. This is clear, and more empiricist. Look at this important point. Aristotle was an incredible progress in the history of philosophy. The problem was after Aristotle, because for a lot of centuries, no other philosopher of his size appeared. And then in the Middle Ages, a lot of stupid philosophers tried to do philosophy just by following Aristotle, by interpreting Aristotle. And then almost all the scientific progress made after the 16th century is made against post-Aristotelism. Not against Aristotle, against post-Aristotelism. This is an important point. Of course, I could say that some engineers are too much inclined to this. One of the terrible reasons, in my view, of a strict Platonism is that often conducts to belief, to have faith, in the rise of abstract ideas. In my view, this is dangerous, because in an extreme form, it makes science impossible. It makes science impossible. And mathematicians should think that the real progress of mathematics is side by side with the great progress